So the previous session, we are actually discussing about the buffer reader, which is a standard input statement. Correct. So I have been kept here buffered reader br is equal to new buffered reader, and this is statement, and I'm trying to compile this. And while I'm compiling, you just clearly observe this time you have this buffered reader is not actually compliant about cannot find symbol. Previously, buffered reader also cannot find symbol. Now see, only input stream reader is the cannot find symbol. It is showing here. You are observing it or not? So input stream reader is cannot find symbol now. That means what? I have to import that as well. That is also available from the package IO package only. Java.io.input stream reader. Whatever I'm using inside. Okay. So now 2, 1 and 2 classes I'm importing. Correct. And now I'm trying to compile again. See that what happened now? That error is gone now. Another error is coming, which is unreported exception IO exception must be caught or declare as thrown. Did you see that? That means read line is actually throwing that IO exception, whether you wanted to catch it or throw it back. That's what is the question. That means if you catch it, you handle it. You throw it so that system will handle. Two ways we can handle it. For now, I'm throwing it to the computer itself. So throws IO exception. So if I do that throws IO exception, okay, and then I'll try to compile, what is going to happen? See. What happened? Spelling mistake. Okay, throws. Now you observe what is going to happen now. Did you see that? Now IO exception cannot find symbol IO exception. That means it is not understanding what is IO exception. Okay, right? Now that means what? That IO exception is also a class only. You have to import it. All these whatever you are using are the external things, not the internal things. That's what we should understand. Okay. Import Java dot. That is also part of IO. All related things are actually part of IO only. All IO related things are in the part of IO package, Java.io package. That's what we should understand. Okay. Now you see, I have imported IO exception as well. I have imported buffered reader. I have imported input stream reader. I have imported IO exception. Now see, did you see that? Now nothing is there. That is where to avoid all these things, I kept IO.star. All the things which is in the IO, I imported. So you use anything, it will work. Dot star is meaning that. Dot star, if you keep all the things which is, there are hundreds of classes and interfaces available in IO package. Everything will be imported to your program. You can use it freely. But that is not the best practice, because hundreds of classes are unnecessarily importing to your program. There are hundreds of classes available in IO package. Okay. That is where this is only the best practice. Whatever the classes you are using, only that class you should import. That is anyway, while you are compiling, it will complains you which class is needed. All you need to understand is which package is actually available. You should know that. Okay, then only you can write that import java.io.buffer reader. Which package you need to understand which package that is available. If you know which package is available, you just put it there. Okay, that is the only thing we should remember. And also that is where to remember purpose only, the package name also given meaningfully, java.io. Easily we can understand IO means input output. All input output statements are available in that particular package. We don't want to think about anything. Just it's not very difficult to remember, right? Generally, to avoid that, we java.io.star we kept, but star is not best practice. We have to do always like this. Okay. Now I compile it. I go and run it. Java addition of 2. Now see what is happening. Actually, the first statement is creating object. Second statement is read line, right? Read line is a input statement. That's what it is waiting there for us. I already mentioned read line will wait for us to press enter. You type something and press enter. Up to that, it is waiting, and then that particular value, whatever I typed, is given to the SR, and it is printing there. Did you see that? That is what is happening. That means read line statement is waiting for the user from the keyboard. Is typing something, everything it is captured and kept into the your string variable, so that string variable you can use anywhere in the computer. That's what. But it will wait until you press enter. Okay, that you should understand. It is waiting until, if you're not pressing enter, it won't go. It wait until what you type. You type something, you type something. Everything it is captured and given. That's it. Now, if you observe here, the output statement, whatever I have typed, everything is coming here. Did you see that? So, guys, you understood? Fine. So, system.out.println, to understand something to me which is printing there, I'm just putting one more output statement here. You have entered something as follows, like that. Okay. So now I'm going to compile it. What happened? I've compiled it, right? Compiled. And running it, waiting, right? So I can type something, and you see that you have entered something as follows, right? So like that, I can actually, wherever I want output statement, I can put that. I need one more output statement here saying why it is waiting. User needs to know, right? So enter something, like that I'll put, right? So if I write output statement, that whatever I type, that will be printed there, right? So that it will be helpful to the user, like what is actually the program. I've compiled it, running it again. It will tell you why it is waiting, right? Enter something, it is coming there. I enter something, and you have entered something as follows, right? So that's how you can, yeah, actually use this read line and output. Read line is the input statement, and system.out.println is the output statement. Wherever you require extensively, you can start using it. Whenever you required input statement, use the read line. Whenever you require the output statement, you are anyway using system.out.println. Like that, anywhere we require, always we use them, right? So all you need to understand is how to use the statements. The thing I wanted to cover in this session is simple if condition. Okay, simple if. So what is simple if statement? Actually, simple if statement is a statement for a conditional statement. Okay, when, how to use the simple if statement? The syntax of the simple if statement is like this: if small bracket open and condition, you have to put the condition there, and then flower bracket open and write the statements in this flower brackets. So this is the syntax for the simple if condition. And whenever you use this kind of statement, what is the meaning? Whenever, if you put the condition, if that condition trues, only then internal bracket, whatever the inside the statements, will execute. If that is false, then that won't execute. That is what is the simple if condition. That means whatever I write inside will execute only if this condition is true. So this is what is the syntax. Okay, I'm going to use it here and I'll show you. So I'll just write something. Just observe it and understand guys? Statement 1. I'm just writing output statements only here, okay? Observe only how the conditional statement works. There are so many statements like that, okay? For example, okay? So generally what happening, whatever if I compile and run, all the statements will execute from top to bottom, right? Java C addition of 2.java. Compiled and running it. If you observe all the statements from top to bottom, always the execution will happen. Now I wanted to control something. I don't want to execute these 3 statements, so I'm putting some condition. That means I wanted to put some condition there. If the condition is true, then only all these 3 statements has to execute. Then I'll put that inside the if flower bracket inside. So if I put this flower bracket, this is called code block up to here, one from here to here, one block of code. So in that block of code will execute whenever this if condition is true. That means I just directly put some true here, okay? I'll run it now. I can put any direct boolean value or else condition, because condition always will give us the boolean value, right? Java C, my class name .java, and Java, my class name. If I observe all the statements as it is, it's working from 1 to 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Why? Because the condition is true now. The value is true now. I make it as false. I can give any value there, right? I given now false. Observe here now. Now what happened? Only 3 statements are executed. Remaining them are not executed because the if condition is now false. So instead of directly give the value, I can put a relational operator related operation so that it will produce the true or false. You are understanding? So what I'm going to do now, I'll put like 10 is greater than 20. Is that true? Generally 10 is greater than 20. Is that true? Tell me, yaar. So now I'm going to run this. See that since that is false, it is not going to execute. Now I am going to put like this. 10 is less than 20. Is that true now? Now I am printing it. Like I'm compiling it.
True.
Run it. Did you see that all 6 are coming now? Why it is happening? Because the condition is true now. Understand? So like that, a simple if condition always runs. If the condition is true, then the statements whatever you written will be executed. If the condition is false, then the statements won't be executed. Understand, right? This is how you can use. You can use n number of if conditions like this. Wherever required, you write one if condition and write your statements. Okay, in a program you can write any number of if conditions. Any clarifications?
No.
అవును వాల్యూ రన్ అయినా ఇక్కడ పెట్టాల్సింది బూలియన్ వాల్యూ యూ కెన్ పుట్ బూలియన్ వాల్యూ end of the day this is giving you boolean value only na. It will evaluate it and give you what boolean value that is taken there. That means what I just write like this, boolean a is equal to something, Variable and value both are same. You can directly use variable or you can directly use the value. Here also see 10 is a value na. I am able to use directly. Instead of assigning to a variable and use it, I can directly use it na. A variable or value both are same. Wherever you use a value, wherever use a variable, both are same. It will always consider value only. What is there inside the value, only that is considered. A greater than B, if A is something, that is only considered, not A, right? Like that, value or variable both are same. Okay. Now if I use A here, if A is true, then it will go. If A is false, then it won't go. Both are same. I have to give their Boolean value, that's it. A Boolean value or a Boolean variable or a condition directly. However, everything is same. I can take a condition and store it to some other variable, and that variable value I can use it, or I can put the same thing there directly. What is the problem? Both are same only, na? Like that. Tell me. Ah, yes. అందుకనే చెప్పిస్తాండేది ఇది స్టేట్మెంట్. ఓకే. Now see, coming because 10 greater than 20 is correct. Like that. So yeah, this is how we have to use the statements. I'm stopping the session now. We'll continue tomorrow from the other sessions. Okay. Thank you.